I take this opportunity to thank AIEF and I express my gratitude to Mr. Matthews, our mentor, without whose tireless support, I wouldn't have been able to conduct this webinar. Thank you very much, sir, and I request you to share a few words.
Thank you, ma'am. It's always a pleasure to have something for our educators. And AIEF has been doing this for the past many years, and many people, resource people, have come forward to share their knowledge. So sharing is caring, they say. So it's a great privilege that resource people, experienced educators, principals, those who have command over a particular area are coming forward to share their knowledge. That is very important. And we are grateful that today you are also come forward, and we look forward that to your sessions in the future. I'm sure the people who have joined today are going to gain something out of this, and it's going to be an enriching experience for everybody who's attending this. Thank you, Anju ma'am, for giving your valuable time for us.
Thank you, sir. And I really, really appreciate your motivation. The way you have motivated me, I will always, it will be a guiding factor for me always. Thank you. And today, the topic that I have, with your permission, may I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Sure, please.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Today, the topic that I have chosen is the strategies and means to teach speaking skills to the students, which I have found that despite lots and lots of effort from the side of the teachers, majority of the class students, they don't either respond or they don't come up to the level which is expected. And speaking skill is very, very important part. So I am going to share my screen to begin with. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Thank you, sir. Teaching speaking in English is very important. Yeah, because it is an international language and a tool for better employment opportunity. Anybody who has proficiency in speaking in English is expected, or it is welcomed in any employment opportunity, and he is always a step ahead of the others. Besides this, language for higher education, it is a tool for higher education, and if we have understanding of the language, it becomes easier to get access to it. Prerequisites, it is a prerequisite in Indian foreign offices for government services also, especially dealing with people abroad or the other countries. It is important that a person has fluency in English, because in our, especially in Punjab, people, they are very eager to go out, and various other states also. So students, they would like to go abroad to access to various job opportunities there and even study opportunities there. Definitely a knowledge of good speaking skills in English helps in migration. And it also facilitates up-to-date information, because internationally, so it's a small world now, and internationally it becomes mandatory. If you have good information, if you have good knowledge of speaking skills, you get the latest information very quickly in modern day of internet. Besides other things, it is a status symbol in India, without doubt. You know, good speakers, they are respected in societies as well. So hence it becomes very important to attain this proficiency in speaking. Now the question arises, why should we practice speaking in classroom? That is very important, because primarily English is not a native language, so the child does not get opportunity to learn it at home. I'm talking about majority of students, because if we only omit the metro cities like Delhi, NCR, or maybe the Union Territories, most of the students, they don't get opportunity, they don't get environment in society to interact in English. Beside that, in the beginners level, in the primary section and pre-primary section, the teachers are not trained to develop these speaking skills. Or in the beginners level, the impression is there, that impression settles there, and the child carries that impression throughout their life, and it is very, very difficult to change that. But I'm not here blaming the teachers, because it's a training set which needs to be improved, and we tend to speak without knowing whether we are right or wrong. So it is important that this proficiency comes in teachers at that level as well. Well, in a modern classroom, in a present day classroom, we have all kinds of learners. Proficient learners, some, a small percentage, then average learner. Then
Anju ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, but the slide is not moving. It's on the first slide only.
Okay, but I'll try, sir. I'll try share
Just
again.
click on the second slide. Yeah,
the types of learners I was dealing with. So in the class, we have different types of learners. Some are proficient. Yes, a less number of students are proficient. Some are average. Some are hesitant, and some are introverts. So in a large class of the range 40 to 60, it becomes very difficult for the teacher to give individual attention to the child so far as improvement of speaking skills are concerned. But yes, still we cannot in a way shun our responsibility in that. So today I feel like discussing what we can do for them, how we can help. So the sub-skills of speaking English is proficiency. Yes, fluency, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar are 4 sub-skills that are required in the proficiency of in increasing the proficiency of speaking skills. Now, the fluency, that means a person should be able to express his ideas fluently without hindrance, without interruptions, and he is able to make the audience understand his views very clearly without hesitation. Vocabulary here requires that the person has enough word power, enough vocabulary to use it judiciously, to use it appropriately, and and impress the audience. Pronunciation is another very important part which should be developed among the students so that they are in a position to express themselves confidently. If the pronunciation is poor, the speaker becomes the center of mockery by the people, by the listeners. So it is very important that pronunciation is such that it is understood by people. It is very important that the students, they know the correct pronunciation. I'm not saying that the pronunciation can be exactly like that of natives, but then it should be intelligible. It should be for the people to understand well. And then grammar, of course, the grammar should be correct. Only then the person can express properly. So these are the 4 sub-skills that are required: fluency, vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. Now, fluency, in attaining this fluency, the student has to face many hurdles. And the first of all, the very next skill that is required, the sub-skill that is required, is lack of appropriate vocabulary, incorrect pronunciation. And these things happen because they are not exposed to the speaking environment, the conducive speaking environment. Then again, the lack of command of grammar, but at times if they don't have that much command of on grammar, they can still go ahead. If they have confidence, they have pronunciation and vocabulary, grammar can be corrected in due course of time, as they learn about various systems and various concepts of grammar, they understand slowly. But that is important that they develop by vocabulary, that they know how to correct their pronunciation. They should have a speaking environment where they can practice, and they should develop that confidence. They should shun their shyness. So these opportunities are required, where the teachers can help the students. And here I am proposing the teaching strategy of PPP framework. That means presentation phase, practice phase, and production phase. Well, how in the presentation phase, actually, it is the duty of the teacher to clarify the concept, the point that he wants his children or her children to understand, grasp. And then second step is practice stage, where the teacher gives opportunity to the students to practice the concept, to reinforce what he has learned, and to develop the confidence among the child to get ready for the production phase. And in the production phase, the student actually presents or reproduces what he has learned. In various skills that we want to develop in children, these three phases, they become very, I would say, useful, where the students, they develop the confidence gradually, and they are in a position when they produce well with the help of the teacher, they become confident. Here I'll give an example of enhancing vocabulary. For example, the teacher wants to share or develop the vocabulary about physical movements like walking and running. The words on the left side of the table, you can see various words like creep, stroll, limp, stagger, hike, march, chase. So I was referring to the words mentioned on the left side of the slide, like creep, stroll, limp, stagger, hike, march, chase, dash, gallop, charge, and the examples in the sentence with the meaning given ahead. Here the teacher is actually presenting. Here the teacher is making the students understand the difference of use of word. For example, I crept up the stairs so that I wouldn't wake anyone, means I'm moving very quietly, tiptoeing, right? And we strolled along the beach. We walked casually. The children will understand the difference between crept up, and strolling. Then he limped quite badly after the accident. Walked with difficulty when one leg is hurt. So by using this word in a sentence, the student understands the correct use of these three different words, like creep, then strolling and limping. Then staggering. The difference between limping and staggering will be very clear, because when it is the sentence used in the sentence, despite his injury, he staggered to the nearest house and called for help. Means he was so much injured that he was not in a position to walk properly. So he was walking with great difficulty, and he was not even able to stand up. So this is even a worse situation than limping. Then hike. They hiked across the countryside. When you are walking long distances, we use the word hike. The students can never creep or stroll or limp or hike. They will march. So the soldiers marched for over 20 kilometers, walk with stiff and regular steps. So here the distinction can be made with different vocabulary words with the same meaning of walking, running, but with a different style. Now, police chase the man for miles. Again, chasing is different than marching. I dashed across the road for the bus. The horse galloped across the field. The angry mob charged towards the security man. So different words used in different context. So now in the practice phase, when, excuse me, during the practice phase, the teacher will give, besides giving him use of the words, I have given a different exercise where the spotlight will be on verbs and nouns. On the right side, you can see that the teacher will somehow give them an introduction of use of all the same verbs as noun. We decided to go for stroll. He had a pronounced limb. I went for 10-mile hike. Now here the same words are being used as noun without much ado, without much of the stress on the children. They will understand that these can be used like this as well. He made a dash for the door. The horse broke into gallop. Who led the charge? These are the using the same words which were used earlier as verbs. Now they are being used as noun. So here, this exercise can be given with the spotlight thing, and then the children may be asked to correct the underlined verb. He obviously had a bad leg. He was hiking. So I understand, or I feel that the children will definitely find hiking as wrongly placed. So the man was clearly drunk, but managed to gallop home after the party. With the meanings already provided to the children here during practice stage, the children will be asked to replace the underlined verb with the correct one. So this will give them the opportunity to understand the meaning and its use. He will be able to use the same word as a noun, as verb, and he will be able to replace the correct vocabulary word. And this gives him an opportunity to reinforce the gained vocabulary as well during practice phase. He will become a little more confident, understanding how to use the verbs without much of a stress on his mind. So he is moving with help here, still under guidance of the teacher. Moving to the next slide will give you an insight of the production phase, where the children, they are able to use, they are supposed to rewrite the sentences using the underlined verbs as noun, make any other changes that are necessary. So an example will be given: we hiked across the valley. We went for the hike across the valley. So sentences like this. So he limped badly. He walked with the limp. It can be used like this. So this will give an opportunity to reproduce the sentence. This is going to help in two ways. One, he understands how to use the vocabulary. And second, he also understands the sentence making. So this helps him develop confidence in making sentences and improving vocabulary and implementing what he has already understood, what he has already learned. Now the second problem. The second problem is pronunciation, which I said that it is really difficult for teachers to correct each and every word of all the students in the class, but still various components of sounds can somehow be hinted in the class, where they are able to pick up one or two things in every class and carry it home and implement it. So the speech sounds of English, they have various components like vowels, consonants, then there is a component of voicing, aspiration, and sounds between the words. They can be given the information, if not in detail, but about short vowels, long vowels, diphthongs, where the fusion of a word is required, They can be given this chart where they understand how to use and how the small sounds or longer sounds are used. With the chart at hand, they will be able to practice at home if they get this information. They must understand the voicing, the voiced and the voiceless consonants and sounds of consonants. I understand they may not be able to pick up the IPA symbols, but we don't intend them to learn IPA symbols, but at least they should be in a position to understand the difference of sounds. For example, how to pronounce V and W, the V sound and the W sound. If we make them understand how what is the difference between the two, and how to check how much stress is to be given by giving them a difference between the voiced and the voiceless consonants. So this is going to help them self-practice. If not in class, at times such exercise can be given, or for 5 minutes practice in the beginning of the session can be given to the students, where they understand how to put more stress or less stress there. A few rules that can be told to the students where they can handle their own pronunciation by keeping in mind when to say so, esco. Like there are n number of rules. I know most of you are aware of these rules. Only need is to stress there in the class, and I understand that many of us, we do this also, but if we are conscious about giving them certain rules, I have mentioned only a few here. It can be elaborated, it can be more and more rules can be brought, but I think that students, if they are given too many rules, they become a little bored and they feel burdened. But one rule supplied at a time may help improve their pronunciation. Like pronunciation of C, they are normally confused when to say use it as so and when to use it as ko. So if we tell them that whenever C is followed by I, E, and Y, it will be pronounced as so, and some examples can be given like send, sell, seller, center, etc. And whenever C is followed by other three consonants and other three vowels and any of the consonants, it is normally pronounced as country. I mean, as ko. Most mispronounced word I have seen among students is ASSESS, that is access, because they cannot make out whether to use first C as ko and second C as ko. So they use both the C as so. It becomes difficult for them to make out why accommodate and why access. So here we can clarify the students with this rule. Another problem that students face a lot when to say G as J sound and G as G sound, and they have this doubt in their mind, and then they stop even making efforts. Excuse me. So they can be told, though it is not a general rule, there are not many exceptions, but still they can be told that whenever G is followed by I, E, and Y, with example, we can tell them that it is called with, it is pronounced with J sound, like ginger, region, generation, gender, astrology, Egyptian, and it retains its G sound when it comes last in the word. Then there are exceptions. Like students may ask, ma'am, how to say, I mean, there are exceptions to the rules, get, give, girl, giggle, and all. Actually, English, we can explain them very well, that English has number of words that have been taken from different languages, and especially if a word is not from basically from English and from German, that is normally a hard G, means G sound. And if it is Latin and French, it is G sound. So somewhere down the line, they have to keep this in mind, because they can never go back to the history of the word and see whether it is German origin or it is Latin origin. So they have to follow the teacher at some level. There are certain names from different language, like Hebrew language. I have given the example, Gideon and Gilead, and they are pronounced in different ways in different regions. So, but there are some irregularities as well, like language uses both kinds of G. So here they have to follow the guidance of the teacher, and they have to listen to the teacher, and the teacher must know his P's and Q's. Only then he will be able to help the child. Another thing is pronunciation of R. That is very common, and that changes affects the pronunciation a lot. Here we can tell them that whenever R is followed by a vowel, it is pronounced properly, like rain, red, grows, cream, truck. But when it is not followed by a vowel, or it comes at the end, we normally make it silent. For example, in teacher, and we can see it here, folk, bird, car, right? So here in where the last E is also sure sound, and it is silent. So that's why we have to tell them. And father, mother, it's the last letter and not followed by any vowel. So it will be silent. But then again, English without an exception, we cannot expect that. So there is again an exception where R is followed by a vowel, and still it is pronounced as iron. And again, the linking R. The linking R means when the next word has a vowel, like car engine. When it is car engine, so we have to pronounce R, car engine. We cannot ignore R, because again, it is closely followed by a vowel. So that is known as linking R. There are many other examples as well, which I have just hinted. I understand that all of you, you have somehow one way or the other gone through this, only just to use it in the class. That is, I want to suggest. Then they must be given once in a while information about the consonant diagrams. Students, they become confused when to use ch as ch and when to use is at sk. So they have to be given certain examples where they can be confident enough, like chair, child, church, catch, march, and watch. These are English words, so that's why ch sound. Then character, Christian, chorus, and chronological are of Greek origin, so that's why the k sound is used. And French origin words are normally take it as sh sound, champagne, machine, right? Again, gh sound. You have to give them the difference. These words, if they are given them the difference of these words, how to pronounce it, how to go ahead with this, we can easily. I'll just want to mention here that in case the meeting gets over suddenly, please join with the same link, because normally it gets over by 40. I'm just keeping the fingers crossed it doesn't end, but still I'll try to continue with my lesson. Right? And then such things can be given to them in advance, which helps them one at a time, so that they can revise, they can go ahead, they can be confident. Then th as th, like in anything, author, bath, breath, cloth, etc. And voiced, breathe. Most breath and breathe, these are the words mostly confused by the students. Teeth, teething, and teeth, they don't know what to do it, because if they tell them about the voiceless and the voiced sounds of the and the, they understand, right? Of course, a shun sound they are very familiar with. I have just mentioned here, we can tell them about this. Then comes the stress. Stress comes at word level as well as sentence level. So I have given an example here. Because these things cannot be detailed in our English class to the students, but yes, we can always, as an activity, work on this. For example, we can use these small signs on the top of the word of the syllable that is stressed. We can use a bigger circle like machine. So I here has been stressed. So machine. So a larger circle on the top of the stressed one. Doctor. With a smaller circle, the syllable with a smaller circle on the top will be less stressed. Then computer. Understand. The circles guide the student. Either we can use clap sound or we can use these circles. I request the member not to unmute themselves, please. I request the members not to unmute themselves, please.
It is Nelson.
Yeah. Now, moving word stress can also be told to them. Like, for example, it was recorded in the record book. The symbol tells the student where to put more stress. That it becomes a help to them. It guides them how to change the stress on the words. Then again, the words that change as we use graph, scope, or phone with the words. For example, may I photograph you? My brother is photographer. So a larger circle on second syllable. So that will help them to improve the pronunciation. I would like some photographic paper. The third syllable is stressed. They understand with the circle on the top. Once they understand this, they will pick up, the reading improves. Now, next exercise that I suggest here is to use the stress in sentence. This small activity will help them use it, where the teacher can use different types of cards, 5 different types of towns and 5 days, different days. And the students may be called in pairs and they may be asked to pick up the cards one by one. For example, the student picks up the card and he gets the cards Delhi and Wednesday. He's supposed to ask question now. Are you going to Delhi on Wednesday? So the student B then picks up and he gets a day card. No, I'm going to Delhi on Friday. So the stress on Friday tells that he's not going on Wednesday, he's going on Friday. This will give them a practice of using the stress on a proper word. Then student A picks up a town card and asks, when are you going to Jaipur? Student B will pick up a day card and say, I'm going to Jaipur on Tuesday. So that way, the students, they understand how to use stress in a particular sentence.
Ma'am, excuse me, we can't see your screen. Please, ma'am.
Again, sorry. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Let me just share again.
It's visible, ma'am. It's visible.
Let me share. Maybe network issue.
It was okay.
Already,
No, ma'am, it was okay.
Fine. I hope now it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Thank you.
So should I repeat the activity or is it okay?
It's okay, ma'am. We heard it. I think
Okay.
one particular person may have had network issues or
Right.
something.
Thank you, sir. I'll move ahead. Okay, another sentence stress activity is we can use a same sentence with different stresses. I saw Marta running outside yesterday. That means like stress is on Marta. I saw Marta running outside yesterday. I normally see Rosa. It means this. Like you can give the this kind of exercise where the different meanings are jumbled in the column, and the students have to make out what is the meaning of the given sentence. Or this sentence these sentences may be given as such, and they may be asked to deduce the meaning out of it. Okay, I saw Marta running outside yesterday. Earlier, I used to see Marta walking. I saw Marta running outside yesterday. Like normally she runs inside, but today she was running outside. I saw Marta running outside yesterday. Normally she runs at the weekend, but yesterday she was running outside. So this way, when the stress is shifted in a particular sentence, the meaning changes. So this gives them an insight of how to use stress while they speak. Now, how can we just guide students to use different strategies while speaking? Because most of the time they feel that they fumble for words, they fumble for the thoughts, so or they always feel a little hindrance how to start. So these strategies can be given to these steps can be taught to them, like to start a sentence. They may say one reason is, or the main reason is, this might be because I feel like that, that's why I wanted to say, this can lead to another thing, or as a result, it can have a positive or negative effect. Such sentences, when they have in mind, they can help. These sentences may help them to start any kind of conversation. Then if they want to give opinion, for example, I think, personally, I believe, and then they can share their opinion. In my opinion, I feel it like this, or the way I see it, means different set of sentences they can use. They don't have to repeat all the time, I think. They may use, as far as I am concerned. If you ask me, or if you want to know what I think, or excuse me, but I have difficulty believing. So all these sentences may help the student to give the opinion. If you ask for an opinion, the student may be given these kind of sentences. Do you agree that? I'm curious about your thought. What about you? What's your idea? What are your thoughts in this? How do you feel about this? Do you have anything to say about this? Like these sentences, if they have prepared, they will be able to ask. They will be able to take opinions of the other members of the group. Expressing agreement. When they want to agree to the members in the group, I agree. I was just going to say that. Right. I couldn't agree with you anymore. Yes, I know what you mean. That's so true. I'm like you. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. I guess so. Actually, if they have this list, it will help them to participate in the discussion in the class, a debate, whether they want to agree or disagree, because For disagreement also, you can give them these kind of sentences like, I am afraid, I don't agree with you, I suppose so, I guess so. Well, you have a point there. It isn't a bad idea, but I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. Really, I don't think so. I respect your opinion, but wait, I don't think so. Then if they want to interrupt, can I add something there? Is it okay if I jump in for a second? If I might add something, sorry to interrupt, but when suddenly you interrupt or accidentally, or when you suddenly interrupt, sorry, go ahead, or sorry, you were saying, and then if somebody interrupts you, very politely it can be said that you didn't let me finish. I was saying. Now, another thing is how to invite. Would you like to share? If you accept or refuse, I would love to. Asking for an information. How do I get to that point? Then giving directions. Go out of the station or go to your left or like this, and then arranging. Whenever you are arranging a meeting or something, okay, I'll see you at 6. Again, introducing a topic. Oh, by the way, these are some linkers or starters or certain expression they fumble for. They always hesitate to interrupt. They always feel how to share their views, how to speak, how to say, how to share the opinion. So all these sentences, if they have with them, if they have practiced, if they use the sentence even with the cue card, they are in a position to come up and participate in the class discussions going on or in the group discussion. Then, most important, very, very important part is that it's the duty of the teacher to create a very, very conducive and safe environment. If the students, they feel comfortable in the class, if they feel that they will not be mocked at, if they feel that they would be supported in the class, definitely they will come up. They will come up with their inputs. They will participate, and teamwork is to be encouraged. It's very important. See, I discussed that there are different types of students in the class. Some are proficient and some are hesitant, maybe. So we should create teams in such a way that contains different type of students in the same, like the demography of a team should not be either all proficient students or all weak students. It should be a mixture of the variety of students in the class that will help them gain one thing or the other from the other members. So we should not, like the teachers should not stand in front of the class. We should be a part of the classroom. We should move in between, reassure them, help them out if they feel any hesitation, pat on the back a little if they feel, cheer them up if they are hesitant, or even clap if they do something nice, and if they say a sentence which is useful or which is correct. We should try to make the class inclusive. Means if someone fumbles or someone is hesitant, someone is not able to share, so it becomes, we should be supportive. We should listen him out. We should help him that he should be in a position to share the ideas. This will make him confident. He will relate. He would feel a part of the class. And then, very important, it's our duty to correct the students. Very, very important that we are there correcting, but how to correct, that is very important. Means we should not be negative or critical in our feedback. Our feedback should be positive. We should try to applaud the child for the good done by him and then suggest where he can improve, rather than suddenly snubbing the child that you went wrong there. Because if they are snubbed suddenly, they may not be in a position to speak up again. So it becomes difficult for a child who has mustered up his courage to speak. And if he is suddenly told in front of the class, you went wrong abruptly, so his confidence level shatters. So once again, we have to be very cautious in giving a feedback, in correcting. But yes, we have to correct. We cannot let the wrong thing be practiced. So it becomes very, very important for teacher to be careful while giving the feedback. So this is how we can actually motivate our children. I would like the members here to share their views if they feel like, because this is what I wanted to share with you here in this class. I will be really, I will appreciate if I get your feedback here, your inputs here. What do you feel about the things shared with you? Your own experiences in the class.
Ma'am, can I share something with you?
Sure, ma'am. Most welcome.
Yes. Hello, ma'am. It was a really nice presentation. I enjoyed it and I learned many things from it. The thing is, ma'am, when we start to pronounce correctly as per the British English rules, then people are not able to understand it. Then during class also, if I have that fear, if we start to follow those rules, will the students be able to understand?
That
So
is
while
why,
teaching,
yeah. I know, ma'am, this is a problem. This is a real problem. But I would suggest one at a time. We cannot directly go to RP. It is not possible for us because of the environment we teach in. But yes, like the rules that I gave, like one at a time. If we want to rectify, they will gradually follow you. If we correct one word at a time or two words at a time, if we go on giving them rules and rules and rules, and we go on somehow, we have to be the part of the group. We can teach them by being their part. We cannot somehow show them that we are above them. They will not take our advices there. They would try making fun of that aspirated accent and all. So I would suggest that one at a time, if we go, it will be really useful.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So I would like to share here, anyone else would like to share his experience?
Hello, ma'am. This is Sarika.
Yes, ma'am.
It was actually a very wonderful experience. Like I have come across many webinars, and out of those, the best part I found was the type of examples you used and your PPTs. They were wonderful. It was a very great research you've done, and a lot of hard work has gone into this. I could see. But then, like in between, there was some disturbance. I could miss some of the things, and
I'm
it'd
really
be
sorry
very
for
grateful
that.
of you. Very no issues, no issues. But then it will be very grateful of you if you could just share your PPT if you have no hesitation, and that would be a great help, because the kind of examples with the pronunciation, and then there are times when we know, but then coming down to the students and explaining them the rule and the ways, that was quite wonderful, like beautiful. So I would like to learn more, but then that elaboration PPTs I would do myself, then that would help my students a lot. So a great
Thank you
experience
so
with you,
much,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Because see, like I could see that you have worked a lot on the work, on the basic criteria, right? So it was much of hard work that got reflected in this.
Ma'am, I have tried.
So,
Actually, I have
thank you.
tried to simplify the matter so that, because what we give to the students, like rules how they should be given. That is what I feel, because if we go directly and give them the phonetic rules, they may not pick up. The thing is this, they may go overboard. So that's what I have tried to do here.
Highly simplified, right? So good enough.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. Anyone else, ma'am? I would really love to know your experiences in the classroom as well, in case you have faced certain things.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. It was actually quite enlightening. There were certain things like it's there at the back of the mind and we haven't done it or something.
Obviously,
But
we have studied.
yeah. Ma'am, one question is like, see, when we teach the higher classes, say 8, 9, 10 and all that, like sometimes what happens is we expect the children to know certain things, but they don't know these basics. So where exactly should we be starting this type of, I mean, to give these type of examples to get the children to do it?
That is what I felt. That is what I felt. And I gave this in the beginning of the session, that you cannot go on giving the rules at a stretch. You have to embed these rules here and there in your lecture, always on the daily basis when you are in the class. Because if you give them rules at a stretch, they may not pick it up. So,
right.
For example, when to say see as sir and ka, if you repeat that in the class time and again, and then after the end of a particular set of term, you may give them a handout that you should keep these things in mind, and then you may repeat things. So these things, the more of a repetition, I understand, sir, ma'am, we know that, we think that they should know, but then again, normally the teachers at the beginners level are not trained to that level. You know that we don't find postgraduates and the people who have done phonetics or who have learned there, they don't teach in the pre-primary or primary level. You know that.
Right, right.
So that's the reason why, since they are not trained to that level, and we should not expect either, it's a duty of the school to train them accordingly. Or if they don't, we just can't make things. We have to do till the management takes some kind of an effort in this direction. So it becomes our duty at least to deliver what we can at most at our end.
Yeah. Okay. So as and when in between, we have to keep doing this so that they get
Whenever,
a hold of.
normally during the discussion, whenever a child commits a mistake, for example, I gave you that word access.
Yes.
So whenever
yes,
he pronounces it wrong, there you have to give the rule that see very carefully. First C is followed by a consonant, so it is ka, and the second C is followed by a vowel. Sorry. So that's why it's a so sound. So access it is. You have to recognize this. So whenever in the class you are using the similar kind of words, you may reinforce the same rule.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Got it. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Namaste, ma'am.
Yeah, namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, ma'am. I'm Kalpana from Chennai. Yes. Now that NEP has reinforced that learning can happen in the vernacular or in the mother tongue. Yes. As an English teacher, how do I reiterate children to communicate in English? Because all these days it was not, we could have told them that it is better to speak in English. But now that there is, we cannot say that they need to communicate in English. But how do I make the children understand that the importance of speaking in English makes them stand a little high up? How do I do that?
Actually, because English is a language that we cannot drop, being international language, being a link language, you can say. I understand that they can do a lot many, like we never need to compare the two languages. English has got its own importance, and that importance cannot be ignored. Being An international language being a language of, you can say, internet also. If they are on Twitter, if they are on Facebook, they use this language. If they are working internationally, yes, I understand that some of the students may not be in that position, but those who are interested to go ahead with this, they will definitely. But still, if we are creating an interest in the class by making them understand, and in the beginners level more, like for example, you come in touch with the students at 7th or 8th or 6th or 9th, wherever you come in touch with the students, and when you are giving them some simplified set of rules or some simplified skill, they enjoy. The children, they learn 4 or 5 languages at a stretch if they given a chance. So don't you
Yes,
feel that with NEP the importance will be decreased?
Yeah, yes, I do understand, and I am following that. But my opinion is, like, I'm not able to convince my colleagues because they feel that talking in my vernacular is Tamil, my mother tongue is Tamil. So they feel it is more comfortable in communicating in Tamil. Even when it comes to English, they try to explain in Tamil, which I feel it shouldn't be done.
Yeah.
I'm not able to convince my friends to make them speak in English. So I am more than the students. I want to help my friends improve better. So can you suggest
And
me anything?
you continue conversing in English. You continue conversing in English. They will gradually fall back. The problem is this, that they are not so comfortable, and they are not so I would say proficient. So that's why they try to evade. But when you keep on talking to them, they will gradually fall in place. This is a major problem. They themselves are hesitant. Some teachers, they themselves are hesitant in conversing in English. But why, if they are not changing themselves, you don't change yourself. They will gradually.
Yes. I don't want to change myself.
Yeah, please don't be influenced. You are on the right
track. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Your session was really nice, and I learned a lot from the session, and I'll definitely implement it in my class.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I have shared a feedback form in the group, and I would really appreciate if you fill that form. And sir has also shared the link for the certificate for this session. So kindly do fill both the links, do access both the links, and share your feedback. Your feedback will obviously motivate me to develop more sessions. Thank you so much for sparing the time here. Thank you, Matthew, sir, for providing me this opportunity and for motivating me here, so that I was able to take up. Please do fill the feedback form. That is going to help me know what kind of sessions would you like. And definitely I'll be working for that.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.